Welcome to the Fire Takes Podcast. This is Tim. I am joined today by not the fiery millennial Gwen. She is off enjoying the holidays with her family still, but I am back here to record with Barb Fallon, our friend that we met on the FinTalks cruise, and who has become a really fun friend to text and share the world with. How are you doing, Barb?
Always looking forward to sharing a great cat meme, Tim. It is so great to be on the podcast here with you. Also missing Gwen, of course, but we are going to make this happen and just make her miss it and make sure that we all get together again sometime soon.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. We've been planning this for the three of us to get together to do a podcast, and we keep missing ships in the night, yada, yada, yada. But this is the second best thing that we can do now. Here is we skipped last week just for holidays, and honestly, we probably had the time. It was me being lazy and being lazy, but holidays are crazy, so we didn't focus on it. We missed a podcast. So
everybody needs
rest. I didn't want to miss again. Yeah, I needed a lot of rest today. I've been completely unproductive as I'm healing from my Christmas sickness. All right, our first story is from R Fire. It's what's your I need to escape the rat race moment? And it is labeled general question. Did you have one moment or a series of instances that finally pushed you to fire? For me, it was how a lot of employees were treated as a line item expense in a recent layoff. I guess I get it from a business perspective. Stock prices are soaring. There's no reputation hit anymore. But the way people were treated did not sit well with me. And there's a lot of interesting responses to this one, too. Do you have any personal experiences? I know you've recently made a change. Did you have a moment that made you want to make that change?
Yeah, I absolutely did. So a number of folks who've met me in person know that I used to be a scientist. I used to be a forensic scientist with the FBI for years, and I really, really loved that work. But the team that I ended up on was not really healthy. I took an amazing vacation with my dive friends to Roatan, Honduras. It was sort of everything you hope out of your rich life. I was traveling with friends for a week. I was scuba diving 4 or 5 times a day. We were eating fantastic food and just being with good people, sharing good experiences. I felt not post-vacation blues when I got home, but a post-vacation high because it was so good. It was so affirming that I was doing what I wanted to be doing with my time and energy. Mm-hmm. And then within the 2 flippin' weeks that I got back from that trip, I had 3 coworkers in particular that were a little bit of bullies. And each one of them, separately and individually, all said something off the wall unprofessional to me. And by the time the third one hit toward the end of the second week, I was just incandescent over it because it had been going on for so long. It was like you think you're in a professional work environment, but you've really set foot back in the middle school gym or lunchroom or something like that. And great. I'm really not a spontaneous person, but I had tried everything that I could think of to make it a better and more healthy working environment for years and years. And I had come to peace with the fact that this is not on me. It's not on me to fix other people's bad attitudes, but it's taking a toll on my mental health, my physical health. And one of the responses to this question right up at the top, Mango Mean, when I started noticing physical symptoms of stress, daily headaches, bottomless fatigue, unable to form sentences, vibrating vision, if I'm going to let it shorten my life. I can't tell you how much I relate to the daily headaches. The tension headaches were just out of this world.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you really don't want to let it affect your physical health, right?
Exactly. And it had definitely gotten to that point for me. And it was the relatively quick succession of unprofessionalism that tipped me over my edge. And impulsive? Not really, because I try to be flexible. A lot of people try to be flexible when a situation's not really ideal. I can make this work. Here's how I can put my best foot forward. But when I hit my limit, I hit my flipping limit. And
Right.
it was important to me that I did not just jump off the handle and hand in my resignation the next day. I went through a period
Sure.
of about a month and a half where I asked myself, okay, so what does Barb want to be when Barb grows up one day? Again, because I thought I had found my thing. I really did like working as a forensic scientist. I liked where I worked for the most part, but
Right.
I went through a process of figuring out, heck, what other skills do I have? Because if I did the same job for a different agency, I'd have to move and live somewhere I didn't
Hmm.
want to live as much, and in all likelihood, take a pay cut thanks to the GS locality pay. So I said, all right, doing the exact
Sure.
same thing for less money doesn't sound good. If I'm going
No.
to make a change, let's look at what I really want for myself. And I love traveling, and I don't have a big blood family, and friends take the space of family for me in my life in a lot of ways. And so
Hmm.
trying to spend time with friends throughout the year is something that's really important to me. And as I inventoried things that I might want to do, I'm also a scuba diver, so I love the ocean. I thought about marine biology, thought about scuba diving instruction. And you might not know this, Tim, but there's an old joke that goes, what's the difference between a scuba instructor and a pizza? And the joke is that the pizza can feed a family of four.
Oof.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so just because I was tired of my current work environment, I'm at the time and still financially single and self supporting. So that wasn't really going to fly.
Hmm.
I had, however, joined an interesting little Facebook group called Singles in Pursuit of Financial Independence back a little bit before the pandemic began. Through this group, I
Oh,
found out that I really liked talking with people about the intersection of money and relationships. During
mm,
COVID, I attended the online conference of a group called the Financial Therapy Association, which I'm now a member of. These are folks who really like to dig into how money affects our relationships with people and vice versa. And I thought, oh my goodness, people who understand and get that it's more than just the numbers, that the way we think about
yeah.
money impacts the important people to us, and the important people in our lives, the important people in our life affect how we view, how we use, and how we feel about money. So I slowly worked on a plan. I attended a career fair through the Certified Financial Planning Board, and I found a small financial planning firm down in Charleston, South Carolina, which is where I currently am. I've been here for about a year and a half.
Gotcha. We've talked a lot of times on this podcast about, hey, this couple needs a financial therapist, right? It's something that I've heard of and I know exists, but it's not something that I think is like commonly understood, that there are financial therapists that really dig into the psychology of money, how it affects people, and that aspect of it. Uh, so it is really cool that you're kind of digging into that. Um, I just want to point out you're a really good guest for this
Aw,
show,
thanks.
right? Like it's like we've put some thought into it, right?
A little bit. It's
We're
almost
trying to think.
like
Yeah, this
a
would be cool.
common thread
Yeah,
is we all like being intentional about our time
right.
and energy.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
the financial therapy profession and association as a whole is really interesting. It's small, it's still gaining ground. Um, I attended their in person conference this past year and really, really loved it. It's interesting because folks either come from a mental health background and they're getting up to speed to be
Hmm.
able to get to help their clients work through financial problems, which often involves a coaching component to it, not necessarily a I can give you investment advice piece of it, because most mental health
Right.
professionals are not licensed for investment advice. And there are a lot fewer folks like me who decided to come in from the financial planning perspective, where I'm currently studying for my certified financial planner credential and working as a financial planner right now. So I can do things like help people figure out the nuts and bolts of their financial lives, give advice, but I don't have that same mental health and coaching background. Now I'm really interested in mental health, and communicating with your partner in relationships and how we can use good relationship
Sure.
skills to help our money conversations. But something that I'm looking forward to after getting the CFP credential, hopefully later this year, eventually starting the path toward the certified financial therapist credential as well.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. I hope that there are avenues for people to find this kind of help. How does one, because I can't go to the yellow pages, right, and look up financial therapists. So how do you locate them?
Well, you may have heard, since we don't have real yellow pages anymore, we have Google instead. And if you
Yeah. Okay.
slightly walked into that one.
Yeah, I did.
So Google Financial Therapy Association, and the first link is
Okay.
to the FTA, but the sublink is find a financial therapist. And you can search by
Okay.
state, you can search by specialty. Do they have a certain demographic that they're working from? Are they more on the financial side or the mental health side?
Yeah. If I'm in a major metro, can I assume that there's going to be something there for me, like one representative?
I would honestly, I think it would have to be really, really metro. I'm blanking on the number, but I think earlier this year they passed, I think it was maybe 500 certified financial therapists total in the entire country.
Okay.
So I know
Gotcha.
a lot of them happen to be concentrated in Georgia because the University of Georgia has a great financial therapy program, and
Mm,
same thing with a school in Kansas as well. Um, I
okay.
don't think Kansas would
So
have.
it might not be completely widespread yet.
No, and being open to online connection with a professional is
Yeah.
probably, if you're going to seek out this type of support, being
Hmm.
open to an online relationship with a professional is going to be a benefit.
Gotcha. Yeah. In addition to the advent of Google, there was this pandemic which
What?
allowed us to do basically everything online. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm all caught
Thanks
up.
for reminding me.
I'm with it. Yeah, I'm with it.
So hip, Tim.
You're a little younger than me. So like it the world changes around you whenever you get older. And
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
one day you're with it and then they change what it is
Yeah.
and it'll happen to you.
Just lucky you're not calling me on a rotary phone right now.
I'd still be waiting for that zero. This next story is from Our Middle Class Finance. It is wife and I combined finances after marriage, and I just realized that she has $60,000 plus in credit card debt that she never mentioned. We got
Just
married
let it
4 months
slip
ago,
somehow.
and I decided to create. Yeah, but, I mean,
Just let
can't
it slip.
remember everything. We got married 4 months ago and decided to create a joint budget. Started reviewing all our accounts together and discovered my wife has been carrying $67,000 in credit card debt across 8 different cards. She never mentioned this during our engagement or our wedding planning. She makes $55,000 a year, so this is more than her annual salary in debt. The minimum payments alone are almost $1,500 a month. She's been making minimum payments for years while the interest keeps compiling. Some of this debt is from student loans, not the loan kind, just living expenses from grad school. Some is from helping her family. Some is just from general lifestyle and spending. Right now, I feel blindsided and unable to focus on planning our lives ahead. Is there someone that can suggest a payment plan she could try? Thanks.
Woof. Oh gosh.
Woof. And I love I love the top comment. Have you seen it yet?
Oh no, I have not. Oh, the top comment says, "You are the payment plan." Dang.
Got it. Yeah,
Dang.
no, that's rough. So Gwen and I have talked a couple of times about prenups, and we are both pro prenup. Not because we want your divorce to go better, but because we want your marriage to go better.
I've never heard that
Sorry, I see the
before.
video of you laughing.
Wanting the divorce. Like, it's not a bad idea. Like,
Um,
statistically, it's a sensible thing.
I think we've cited the actual statistic. I'm probably just going to mostly make it up, but it's like only 25% of marriages with a prenup actually end in divorce, which is better than
Really
the normal statistic of what marriages end in divorce. And
amazing.
I really think that it would help. It would have helped in this situation. I don't know that it makes the marriage better, but it may have prevented this marriage if this couple would have went through the process of getting a prenup,
Yeah.
and the guy was like, "You've got more than your annual salary in debt, and you have no idea how to do money. Maybe I don't want to marry you." And now that's a divorce that didn't happen because of a
Yeah,
prenup.
because the marriage
Right?
never happened. No, this is fascinating.
Right.
I am also generally pro prenup, but the cards life has dealt me is to have not had the opportunity to need to contemplate that for myself. So I've never really thought about what goes into the prenup process. Like, is
Right.
the attorney
It is.
sitting there and you're doing an inventory of all your money and all your accounts
It,
together? So would it have come up? Could
yeah.
she have still hidden it? I don't.
We just did an online prenup, so like prenup.com or Hello Prenup, one of those
Hello, prenup.
online services. But it really was like bring an inventory of every financial account you have and lay it on a spreadsheet side by side. In the case of dissolution, this is how we would want this part handled and this part handled, and it is it's maybe hard conversations, but it's conversations that if you can't handle those, marriage isn't going to go well, right?
Yeah. I haven't heard
Um,
that being
so
married necessarily makes hard conversations easier. It just means you're guaranteed to have
well,
more of them
yeah,
without an easy opt out.
yeah, just like having a baby fixes relationships, makes relationships
Yeah,
easier.
totally. Add more people. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
Oh gosh.
yeah.
Man,
No. Usually, adding extra complexity or an extra layer of bureaucracy to your relationship does not make it easier. It turns out.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I want to ask, based on what you just shared about your experience doing the online
Mm-hmm.
prenup, would it sounds like that still may have relied on you and Gwen both honestly bringing to the table what you had? Would it have been possible to hide credit card debt the way OP's wife has?
Yeah, I don't know what would have happened had one of us been hiding something like a credit card. Think that we would have at least perjured ourselves somewhere in the process, so that the damaged party would have kind of that extra stick to poke with.
Yeah. I'm not a lawyer, but that
But yeah,
seems
I don't
possible.
know.
I think something that stands
It's
out to
hosting.
me is how the question or how the post ends. Can somebody suggest a payment plan that she could try? And what strikes me about this is
Yeah.
it's focusing on the mechanics and the numbers
Hmm.
of the challenge that's in
Hmm.
front of them. What it's not doing is asking how to process what's actually a really significant betrayal, or would be a large betrayal to a lot of people. And sometimes you can see this when folks are confronting something that feels so enormous and so large, they just don't know how they
Hmm.
can possibly make it through this. So instead, they fixate on a little piece that they feel they can control. And if we can get control of the payment plan, then everything else is going to work out. It's going to be fine. We can move
Hmm.
on like this never happened. Oh, but that trust is not as easy to fix as a payment plan. And I'm not suggesting the payment plan is going to be easy
No,
either. The trust is going to be
no.
a lot of work. And um, I feel comfortable tooting the financial therapy horn because I'm not one yet, so not self-serving.
Yeah.
But this is the type of situation where I think a mental health professional could be really beneficial for processing for the OP. And oh man, when you're trying to work through a big tough relationship problem, curiosity can go a long way. How how did this
Sure.
happen? And we got some answers: debt from student loans, like
Mm-hmm.
living expenses, helping her
Yeah.
family, over lifestyle overspending. Um, where's what psychology is going on for the wife that these behaviors are the ones that make the most sense to her? Because people don't,
Right.
like, things can look irrational to us on the outside, but somehow the person's actions make perfect sense to them at the time when they're doing the thing.
Because that's where my head went immediately, was to the wife, the psychology that gets you into an amount of debt more than your annual income,
Yeah.
needing to attack that. But I think it's really insightful that you bring up the psychology of this guy who thinks that this is a money problem, whenever it's a betrayal problem. It is all of these psychological problems that he is working really hard to sweep under the rug and just say, oh, I just got to pay a little bit more than the minimums, right? if I pay in the right order, this is going to fix it,
Yeah,
right?
the minimum
Uh,
payments are 1,500, so if he pays $1,510, we're good, right? And definitely we'll
yeah,
keep up, and it won't
there we
keep
go. Yeah,
compounding faster than they can pay it
right.
down.
Because there are strategies on, if I needed to pay $67,000 in credit card debt, okay, I'd rank them by, interest rate and by size. Even like Dave Ramsey, I think even at this stage, I'm not a big Dave Ramsey guy after he starts uh, into the sales
Opening his
pitch
mouth.
part of his plans, but at the right. But at the very beginning of getting out of debt, right? Like I think he has a good plan, and I think he's gotten a lot of people out of debt with it. Like all that, sure, that mechanics is fine, but you're right. Like this is a psychological problem that needs to get fixed,
Yeah, it's
and this
definitely
trust needs to be rebuilt.
yeah, it's definitely much bigger than just the numbers. Um, there are definitely great places to find get out of debt information other than Dave Ramsey. If Opie's wife is on Facebook, Women's Personal Finance is a fantastic page. I would also think there are challenges to unpack here and understanding what led to this set of choices and behaviors. I also don't know that therapy for them and therefore their relationship really stands a chance if they can't get curious, leave space to hear some things that to them sound totally off the wall, unreasonable, but you got to make it
Mm-hmm.
safe for your spouse to talk about this challenging shit. Did the wife think carrying debt more than her annual income was normal because that's what was common in her family? Did her family carry more than that? And this is actually a huge improvement relative to her family of origin story. Or is
Yeah.
this a case of like, nope, some wrong messages got interpreted, and the way that hopefully they would be able to move forward in a healthy fashion, you need a shared vision. Say, okay, we didn't expect this roadblock together. Can we approach this as a team and feel good about how we approach this as a team? What measures do we need to take? How long is this going to take? Because if you can thoughtfully attack it with a shared vision for what it's going to be like on the other side, I think they have a chance. If the pain and the spiraling turn into accusations and it drives a wedge between them, and it could, it's always possible, then
Mm-hmm.
this might be a short marriage. And I hope they also, like you,
Yeah.
went to helloprenup.com, if that's a real. Yeah. Good luck, guys. You maybe got this.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. It's not you don't got this. It's not you got this. It's you maybe got this. I hope we get
Maybe got this.
I hope we get an update at some point in the future. This was posted 3 months ago, but I am not seeing an
This is
OP
on the hopper.
update. I feel like if you post on Reddit, it should be mandatory to provide an update if you're asking strangers for advice. Like, it should be illegal. Like, let's go throw them in jail for not giving us an update. Yeah.
next story is from R. Henry Finance. It is, I don't know if we've done anything from this subreddit. So Henry Finance is high earning, not rich yet, Henry. But it is taking a break as a traumatized, burned out, semi-fi 28-year-old. The background is 28, burned out, $2 million net worth, $1.5 million individual brokerage, $130K crypto, $370K other and less liquid. I currently work in a high-stress corporate environment where my boss is abusive and has been singling me out for the last 3 years. For example, picking on me and yelling and cursing at me in front of my entire team. They tend to treat me very poorly and will get more upset at me for any given thing than they will other people on the team, i.e. heavy favoritism. I am certain they are a narcissist, and at this point there is no resolution or scenario where this ends well for me. Given my net worth and the fact that I can't bear one more month in this job, let alone another year, I've decided to resign. I don't have another job lined up and candidly don't know what's next. I don't want to return to the same industry, but I'm fortunate that I can move back in with my parents and bring my expenses down to $2,000 a month. I have $30K in cash and will have $20,000 a year in passive income. My question for my fellow Henrys: have any of you been in a similar position? And if so, what are some pitfalls, things I should watch out for as I proceed in this process? What advice would you have for me as I venture out into this next step? So we've got an interesting set of numbers here. Looks like she made a bunch of money. I don't know what field this person's in, that they made all that money before they were 28, and they have these weird...
I just know that this is the type of person who makes me question my own life choices. Like, I could have had this problem, but with the way I currently spend, it wouldn't be a problem. It'd be like, all right, see ya, suckers, bye.
Right.
Because I'd be fine.
Right.
This is different than my own situation because my direct line of management liked me. It was my day-to-day coworker team that targeted me for bullying.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different in that respect, but what does resonate with me is I've tried everything to make this workable. I realize that there just isn't going to be a resolution and it's time to be done. And this is a place where it again strikes me, maybe we just don't have enough information, but I can bring my expenses to $2,000 a month with $20,000 a year in passive income, and I have $30K in cash. Like, okay, you have all but $4,000 of your monthly expenses covered for an entire year. Like, you have some runway. Like, go take a break, go hike in the mountains, go do what you got to do. But that's why I feel this question, there's more to the OP's situation. Or maybe, I don't know, are they just stuck in the corporate America? This is what I have to be doing. I have to keep working so that I can keep buying more things. So I have to keep working so I can keep buying more things, rat race until they die. I don't know.
Well, I don't think anyone, even someone who's making $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 a year, to come up to get to get the schooling to be able to do that, and to get to a $2 million net worth by 28. This is a frugal person, right? Like, this isn't someone who is trying to keep up with any Joneses or anything, right? Because they're saving a lot of money.
Yeah. Maybe they're making $500,000 a year. On the other hand, who does that at 28? Why couldn't they have talked to me when I was 22? But
yeah, I would be really mad at my guidance counselor if they were making $500,000.
You had a chance.
And right. Yeah. Because like if you told me they were doctors making $500,000, yeah, that's fine. But they started their career a year ago, right?
Yeah. Something else that strikes me, like, this is somebody with this type of income and savings at this age. This strikes me as somebody who's probably not afraid of hard work, who's not afraid of putting their head down and getting a job done. And so, to the extent that the question effectively is, am I going to be okay? Yeah, you probably are, because something that I
Yeah.
had to tell myself, okay, you have a lot of skills other than being a forensic scientist staring at a microscope all day. You actually
Hmm.
think about things analytically, you write well, you communicate decently. What what else do you have? How do you want to translate it? I think the person needs to take a break, calm down, calm down, start to heal some of the trauma. Like,
Yeah.
I've been in therapy at this point, and it's been years that I've discussed those coworkers in therapy, and I still feel resentment over it. I still feel resentment that I feel pushed out of the career that I really wanted for myself. But I like one comment from the comment section. I did this at 25. Literally could not work one more single day. I quit on a random Wednesday at 9 p.m. Turned out just fine, and I got into a higher paying, lower stress job. I think when we're stuck in a difficult situation, we don't necessarily see the other options that are available to us. We've
Mm.
been so consumed
Yeah.
with the challenge in front of us, we haven't had the bandwidth to think about what else is out there.
We just read. Uh, well, I think Gwen read it, and I listened to it when we were driving around for all of our holiday trips. Retire Often by Jillian Johnsroot. Her thesis is basically that you should be taking at least a month off a year. Maybe a year off every few years, right? Just this retire off and take these large breaks from work. And that she talks a lot about the uh, the purpose of stress in humans is basically it's what drives us to go hunt and gather to get food, right? Is this cortisol and build up, and then you get the food, and then you relax, and then you get back until it builds up again. But in our modern careers, we're just in that stress space all the time, and it's not like what our bodies are built for. So even whenever someone does take this mini retirement, it often takes them weeks to finally come down to like, oh, you're not in that like flight or fight stress mode that that your job puts you in. So that 1 week or 2 week vacation where you take the kids to Disney and they're probably driving you crazy anyway, that's not going to get it. That's not going to cut it for actually bringing you down into a relaxing space where you can you can have the kind of insights that come from being relaxed, so you can see the other side of this really stressful situation that you're in, right? Like you were mentioning, you can't see it because your body is just filled with all these chemicals that are overwhelming you and not letting you find your way out.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Our bodies haven't adapted to the fact that the little notification sound on Microsoft Teams or Microsoft Office is not actually a saber-toothed tiger. But heck, if I am, hopefully I'm going to have my own financial planning business one day. I'm not using Microsoft. They, yes, they are
Yeah,
easy to
yeah.
use because of how widespread they are, but that sound will haunt me for the rest of my life. If I never hear it again, it will be too soon. I will hear it in my coffin. But I like the wisdom of what you were sharing, and therefore of Jillian. And unfortunately, I haven't read her book yet, but I am familiar with her premise. And the little story I have is that during 2018, 2019, a certain president shut down the government for, at the time, the country's longest government shutdown, lasting 5 weeks over Christmas and into late January, which also happened to cover my birthday. And it was actually thanks to that shutdown that I first started to contemplate the idea that maybe there was life outside of being a forensic scientist. Because I was told day after day,
Mm.
week after week, you can't come into work today, you can't come into work today. And I went and I got a little key to the city pass, which sort of for feds at the time, they gave it to you for free, and it had little coupons for local historic sites that normally would cost you a little bit of money, but we weren't getting paid. So
Hmm.
we went and participated in our local communities by being able to get out there. And I also walked dogs for a local rescue group. I kind of reconnected with volunteer
Mm.
work as something that's important to me when I feel I have time and space for it. But it was that 5 weeks out of the normal routine that jump started me thinking, okay, not only do I have a big girl paycheck for kind of the first time in my life, but oh no, now I really need to know what to do with this paycheck because I think this might be my last paycheck for a little while. I have a feeling the shutdown is going to drag out, and I was right. And of course, history has repeated itself. We just went through that again. And it was digging into what do I need to do to get better with my personal finances that led me to stumble into the whole fire world to begin with. So if it weren't for a certain president and a certain hell-bent desire to cause a shutdown, was that 8 years ago now? Who knows? We might not be talking here. But that 5 weeks was really pivotal for getting me out of the daily
Mm.
grind and stress of the job that I did love, but it was stressful. And to even
Hmm.
contemplate and take the blinders off that there were more opportunities out there for me.
Yeah, and I know Gwen is kind of feeling this that same way now. She is in a medical leave
Right.
for she had some knee surgery, and she's getting a week, or I'm sorry, about a month off for this. And I do have to apologize. I told her that I didn't think that counted as a retirement, mini retirement. But after now reading the book, I was quick to open my mouth as a man
Ah,
to mansplain the book that she had just read to her.
thank goodness we have you
But
here,
now that
Tim.
I've also read it, I can officially apologize.
I mean, you can mansplain it to me because I haven't read it, so I don't have more expertise than you
Yeah.
than the
So,
content of the
but
book.
no, so she is, yeah, she's definitely feeling a level of relaxation that she hasn't in a while. But it's kind of opening her eyes to seeing what it is she enjoys about this reselling business that she's doing,
Right.
and what she's enjoying about spending time with her family that she might not have been able to do had she had to come back and be at work on Monday.
Right.
But yeah, so
Well,
but then again, here I am, wifeless, adrift,
I,
all alone.
I don't think you count as wifeless just because she's not currently present in the room with you. Gwen still
Is the
exists.
wife in the room with you right now? Yeah.
No. No, she better get
But yeah,
a full recovery and get better soon so that we
yeah,
can record. But maybe
yes.
after my CFP exam in March.
All right. So we're putting time limits on it, but yes, we do want to get you back, have all three of us together. Um, until then, where else can people find you who want to keep track of you and learn about what it is that Barbara's doing? Not track you like a stalker, like I said.
Nah, okay, great. And then thanks for giving people the idea about stalking. Um, so earlier this year, I recorded a podcast episode with my friend Ed Combs. He has a podcast called Healthy, Love, and Money, and he also has a book by the same name. It was a short little podcast, but I get into talking about personal finance and relationships and dating a little bit more than we have today. And hopefully, that's a topic we can dive further into with Gwen in the future. And in the meantime, maybe you can find me on the Fin Talks Discord group or the Tuesday night Zoom calls, or maybe you can be super stocky and find me on LinkedIn.
Right. Just search Barb Fallon on LinkedIn
Yep, yep, it'll
and on
be.
and on Google.
Yeah, I think I'm the only.
Ask Gemini.
Yes, ask Gemini. I think I'm the
Search
only.
Alta Vista.
Yeah, I should be the only Barb Fallon who has worked for both the FBI and in financial planning. And if there's another Barb Fallon out there who's done that, please do send me a message on LinkedIn. I want to meet you.
That would be.
Oh, good stuff.
That would be startling.
Yes, right. I know there's a Barb Fallon who's a doctor up in Canada. She sounds kind of cool.
Awesome. Yep. My name doppelganger Tim Joyner was a reverend in Belize, or he's a missionary in Belize. So he was doing very important beach-related missionary work in Belize, and he passed away, sadly.
Oh.
So I got a Google alert to let me know that Tim Joyner died.
Oh my God. Condolences to Reverend Tim Joyner's family.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a Google alert to get about yourself.
It's good to know, you know?
Yeah. It was nice of them to let you know that you had passed. We all got to find out somehow.
Yeah. It's the news that's important to you, right? It's what are the measures for journalism? It's like, how important is it? And then how local it is, right? So like stuff that's close to you is newsworthy, and stuff even that's far from you, but it's super important, is newsworthy. Right? But that was super close to me and also fairly important. So thank you so much for joining and filling in for Gwen and letting her be lazy on her vacation and not record remotely with me. Instead, you got to record remotely with me.
Well, all right. Till next time, until Gwen can join us again. Yes. Thanks for having me. I'll say that.
Thrilled to have you. And
I am standing beside Gwen's shoes. I'm not filling in her shoes for her. So, yeah. Till next time, everybody.
You did great. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to the Fire Takes podcast. Wanted to remind you that this is an entertainment podcast. Gwen and I, not financial planners, just opinionated. There are many ways to reach us. If you just go to firetakespod.com, including email, Instagram, Reddit, YouTube. You can hear more from Gwen at firymillennials.com. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
I got my Fire Takes logo.
I saw that.
We'll get you a sticker. Are you coming to Alaska?
It overlaps with the scuba trip I have. I'm so bummed. 2 weeks in the Philippines. Hard to turn down 2 weeks in the Philippines with those same friends I was telling you about in Honduras. Ugh.
Yeah.
And to be fair, FinTalks is going on more cruises.
Sean's on the...
Yes.
What's that?
Yeah, FinTalks is going on more cruises. Sean, yeah. And as for what you just said about our friend Sean going on the Alaska cruise, I know this because that's why he can't be my dive buddy in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely not salty about it. It's fine. It's fine.
Could have another attempt on his life.
It's fine. Oh, God. No, we love Sean. We will protect Sean. Sean actually came for a visit last weekend. We sat on a Saturday night. I skipped a bar crawl with my local friends so that we could do tax optimized retirement withdrawal planning as a continuing education course that I needed to get done last weekend. So just in case anyone's not familiar with me on this podcast, I'm the type of nerd who skipped the bar crawl with friends to do 6 hours of taxes and retirement planning on a Saturday night. Yep. So it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Only the most exciting guests on the Fire Takes podcast.
Yes.